She's misbehaving. They're in the gate, and they're off. Fast Giselle gets the first call. Ankara up alongside in second. Quarry Thunder comes away in third. Then it's Spring Magic fourth, 3.5 or so off the lead. They're followed by Graze My Heart. Inside, She's Misbehaving. Abita and In Your Face at the back. Ankara is up to take a narrow lead over Fast Giselle, but does go very wide, and Fast Giselle is now back in front, and in fact by more than a length. In third is Quarry Thunder, moving toward the rail. They are followed by Spring Magic, who's racing in the fourth spot. Down at the rail comes Graze My Heart. She's Misbehaving behind them. Then it's Abita and In Your Face. Fast Giselle heads toward the half-mile pole with a length lead on Ankara in second. A length and a half. Spring Magic's been under a hold most of the journey. Down at the rail comes Grazed My Heart, racing a joint fourth on the inside of She's Misbehaving, and Quarry of Thunder in traffic between those two. In Your Face in the yellow, trying to make some headway, also in heavy congestion, and at the back, Abita. Fast Giselle, Ankara 1-2 throughout. Spring Magic a 3-wide third. Graze My Heart saving every inch of ground along the inside. Quarry of Thunder is next, followed by In Your Face. She's Misbehaving. At the back is Abita. They're at the top of the stretch. Fast Giselle, Ankara half length back in second. A length more Spring Magic. She's Misbehaving on the outside. Graze My Heart at the rail, and in between Quarry of Thunder. Wild finish. She's Misbehaving. Didn't have the best of beginnings, but finished up full of run to score by a length. Abita flew at her second to get there to complete that exacta. Then a battle among Ankara and Spring Magic. Three minutes. We're in the gate, and they're off. DeJoria, Yvette Surprise, both out quickly enough. Here's Frazzled joining and passing both, and Frazzled has sprinted away. R. Swervin Gervin moves up to take second inside Yvette Surprise. DeJoria back to fourth, and the gray is Violet Storm at the back. It's a compact group behind Frazzled, who leads a length and a half to R. Swervin Gervin past the 5/8 pole. Then it's Yvette Surprise in third, followed by DeJoria and Violet Storm. Violet Storm inching up willingly to take third now with a half mile to go. Frazzled shows the way. 2-length advantage are Swervin Gervin, Violet Storm on the fence, followed by Yvette Surprise and DeJoria between those two. 3 furlongs remain for Frazzled, setting the pace throughout. 3/4 of a length are Swervin Gervin, tries to engage the favorite coming to the quarter pole. 3 more lengths to Yvette Surprise in third. At the rail, Violet Storm. They're turning for home. Frazzled are Swervin Gervin, pestering on the outside. Our Swervin Gervin is up to take the lead. Frazzled is back to second at the 8th pole with no reply. Followed by Violet Storm on the outside. Yvette Surprise trying to complete the exacta behind our Swervin Gervin under Jose Valdivia Jr. opening up to win it effortlessly. 3.5 when the smoke clears. Yvette Surprise, Violet Storm, DeJoria, and Flazzard. Frey back up for final Storm. Is in. And they're off. Very even start. Immelman along the inside is going out for the lead. Known Idea is up close in the opening furlong. These two are stride for stride. Tiger and My Tank a joint third. They're followed by Where It's At in the blue colors. Fortress 2.5 off the lead. Surrounded by Angels is next. Beer Money, who broke well. Now 5 off the pace. Inside Refocus, and nothing early from Final Storm. Immelman leads the way. Known Idea, length and a half back second. Tiger in My Tank is third, followed by Where It's At, 4 off the pace in fourth. Beer Money, Refocus, Surrounded by Angels, and another 3 to Final Storm. Around the far turn, and it's Immelman, who's been there every step of the way. Known Idea is now called on, set down, 3/4 back second. Beer Money and Refocus, third and fourth. Down at the rail, Final Storm trying to mount a late bid. He's got plenty of real estate to do it. They're a furlong from the finish. Known Idea and Immelman. Known Idea takes the lead. Beer Money running on, as is Final Storm. Past the 16th pole, Known Idea, Beer Money. Here's Final Storm coming through with a late surge. Known Idea, Final Storm from last to first. Nails Known Idea, Beer Money third, photo for fourth between Immelman and Refocus. In the gate. And they're off. Zizek's had a very tough beginning. Quick start for Roman Empress, straight to the front. Vulin, A True Friend. Dramatizer is next, followed by A Broken Breeze. And after a stumbling start, Zizek's at the back of the field. It is Roman Empress heading to the 6 furlong pole, a half length in front. True Friend is second. Vulin keeps the pressure on, making it 3 across the track. Dramatizer is in fourth, 3 lengths off this battle, then A Broken Breeze and Zizek's. They move on to the backstretch, and Roman Empress, trying to drift out a touch, leads the way at the 5/8 pole. True Friend is a neck back second. Vulin comfortably placed on the outside of them. Another 2 back to Dramatizer in the pink colors, fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. Zizek's and A Broken Breeze. It's Roman Empress with less than a half mile to go, leading by a little more than a neck. True Friend second. A length and a half. Vulin is called on now as True Friend takes the lead away from Roman Empress, who's under pressure. Vulin moves into second. Dramatizer very much in at fourth. Moving up to take third as Roman Empress backing out of it. They come to the quarter pole, and it's True Friend and Vulin. Vulin on the outside surges past the quarter pole. True Friend has to respond. Dramatizer swings to the outside third. 3/16 of a mile to go, and Vulin has to hold off Dramatizer. These are the 2. Vulin by 2. Dramatizer in second, followed by True Friend in third. Dramatizer eating into the lead of Vulin, who's still in front, though. And it's Vulin who is safely home under Ricky Gonzalez. Vulin takes care of business. Dramatizer second. Photo for third went to True Friend, fending off Roman Empress, who was resurgent late. They're in the gate. And they're off. Crosby Beach, Dandy Man Shines, Hula Candy. They're joined by Dean Martini, 4 of them across the course. Rayquist trying to get in and does so. The 2 trailers are Allegato and Flashiest at the back. It's Crosby Beach narrowly over Hula Candy. Those 2 move into the first turn with Dandy Man Shines in third. Then it's Dean Martini racing in fourth. Rayquist is down at the rail, 4 lengths off the lead. Flashiest is next to that rival, and Allegato has 7 to make up with 5.5 furlongs to go. Crosby Beach gets a very easy lead over Hula Candy, who's a length back second. Dean Martini, Dandy Man Shines in between horses, and Rayquist under a tight hold down at the rail. Flashiest is next, and then it's Allegato. No change in the running order. They head to the half-mile pole. Juan Hernandez and Crosby Beach cruising along up top, with Hula Candy clearly second. Another length and a half back to Rayquist, who's in a tight spot down at the rail, but moving forward in third. Outside of him, Dean Martini. Dandy Man Shines is now back to fifth, 5 lengths off the leaders. Then Flashiest and Allegato in the white is trying to find some racing room, still has plenty of work to do. Crosby Beach, Hula Candy still 1-2 with a quarter of a mile to go. Dean Martini is under pressure. Dandy Man Shines finding a seam between rivals. Flashiest on the far outside. There's an eighth to go, and Crosby Beach digs in. Hula Candy in second. Flashiest on the outside third. Dandy Man Shines is one from the outside in the red, trying to get into second late, but Crosby Beach has run them off their feet. Crosby Beach makes every pole a winning one. Dandy Man Shines in an extremely close photo. It's either him or Rayquist to complete the exacta. Behind them, it was Flashiest. We're in the gate. And they're off. Sanger is going out to battle for the early lead. He's joined immediately by Motorcade with the lime colors, and Motorcade will be the pacemaker. Kahuna Magic is up close, taking second. Sanger now third. Crypto Craze taken off the rail, moving up between horses, and very eager too. The favorite Crypto Craze in a tight spot as he's trying to get right after Motorcade past the 5/8 pole. Then comes Manchild, who has 3 lengths to make up, and Good and Thirsty at the back of the field. It's Motorcade the leader. Crypto Craze got through and presses hard from second. These two come to the 3/8 pole and have sprinted 2 clear of Kahuna Magic in third. At the rails, Sanger losing ground. Manchild on the outside up to take the third spot, and then Good and Thirsty. They're coming to the quarter pole. Motorcade hanging tough. Crypto Craze took a shot at him, but Crypto Craze not keeping up as Motorcade turns for home, loaded, hugs the rail, and goes on very strongly. Motorcade suddenly 5 in front. Crypto Craze will simply try to hold second, followed by Manchild and Good and Thirsty. Huge effort out of Motorcade, who's all alone. It's a good battle for second as Manchild grinds away to complete the exacta. Motorcade trounces him. Manchild, Crypto Craze, Good and Thirsty. Last one to load. We're in the gate. And they're off. Perfect start. Takes 3 in the center of the course. Stolen Treasure along the inside. Mischief's Causeway. Curlin's Chaos is not far behind, but wrangled back now. Just a Guess inches up on the outside. The pace appears moderate. 2x4 toward the back of the field with Clements Ride, followed by Size Does Matter, and Keep Moving On is at the back. It takes 3 to set the pace, leading it by 2 lengths rounding the first turn. Mischief's Causeway, clear cut second. Down at the rails, Stolen Treasure, Curlin's Chaos, Just a Guess outside of that pair. They're followed by 2x4, 5 lengths off the lead. Outside of him comes Size Does Matter. The 2 trailers together, Clements Ride, and Keep Moving On. Armando Ayuso and Takes 3. Uncontested up top. Letting it out a notch to be in front, almost 3. Just a Guess immediately cuts into that margin. Mischief's Causeway is in third. Stolen Treasure, Curlin's Chaos in the red, 3 lengths off the leader. 2x4 is down at the rail, needing to find some racing room, following the path of Stolen Treasure around the turn. Size Does Matter is next. Keep Moving On, and Clements Ride. They're at the quarter pole. Heads apart on the front end now. Just a Guess confronts Takes 3. Takes 3 at the rail. Just a Guess. Clear shot for Curlin's Chaos, who's finding his best stride now in third. And here's Curlin's Chaos. Just like that, blows right by the top pair. 2x4 moving up in traffic. 16th pole. Curlin's Chaos by 3. Curlin's Chaos was too strong. 2x4 finished nicely into second. They're followed by Size Does Matter. Then Takes 3 and Keep Moving On. And they're off. Fly Me to the Moon, Baby, Uncontrollable, one from the rail. Wish They All Could Be is the gray coming through, and Wish They All Could Be is up to take the lead. Irish Wahine and Fly Me to the Moon, Baby is racing in between those two. They're followed at the rail by Sweet Hello, who's 3 lengths off the lead. Tizzy Twister is next, and Uncontrollable is at the back, but no more than 4 lengths covers the entire field. It's Wish They All Could Be passing the half-mile pole in front, racing a bit off the rail. Room for Sweet Hello to come through and challenge in second. Then it's Irish Wahine, 2 off the pace in third. Tizzy Twister fourth, Uncontrollable, and a gap of 4 to Fly Me to the Moon, Baby, hard ridden at the back. Wish They All Could Be. At the 5/16th pole, has it a half length. Irish Wahine coming to her in second. At the rails, Sweet Hello, Tizzy Twister. Uncontrollable, still 5 or 6 off the lead, and another 4 to Fly Me to the Moon, Baby. They turn for home. Irish Wahine is up to take over. Tizzy Twister moves up on the outside of Wish They All Could Be down at the rail. They're in the final furlong. Irish Wahine by 2. Tizzy Twister is trying hard in second, but it's Irish Wahine in front. Irish Wahine, Tizzy Twister, Irish Wahine by a length and a half. Tizzy Twister was second. Wish They All Could Be an Uncontrollable. They're in the gate. And they're off. You're in Trouble bounces out like a rocket, and Not a Sinner has plenty of speed. In fact, a tiny bit quicker. Down at the rail, here's Heart of the Night. And Heart of the Night flies through now to take the lead. Vibes is up and on the pace. Now a joint second, racing on the inside of Carson Jen. Carson Jen now claims the second spot. Not a Sinner moves into third. Vibes now fourth. Then it's Disposition fifth past the half-mile pole. You're in Trouble is 7 lengths off the lead. Down at the rail, Wimberley and Charm Your World, a gap of 4 back to Upcharge, who's toward the back of the field as they round the turn. Love Alive is next, and Ziti on the fence. Strung out, 1/4 mile to go. Heart of the Night, the leader, pressed by Not a Sinner, and Not a Sinner is up to take command at the top of the stretch. Not a Sinner turns for home, quickly putting 2 on Heart of the Night in second. Down on the inside, Wimberley is starting to finish with interest in a tight spot. Vibes and Charm Your World is also coming smartly. And here comes Charm Your World on the inside. Charm Your World takes the lead close to home. Charm Your World for the McAnally family wins the finale. An absolutely flying Upcharge came in second, and in behind them there were several battling it out, including Not a Sinner. Wimberley put in a pretty decent effort, along with Disposition. The living legend, Ron McAnally, does it again at the Great Race Place.
Hi, everybody, and a happy Friday to each and every one of you. So happy that you decided to join us on Kentucky Oaks Day. And we all know it's Kentucky Oaks Day at Churchill Downs and, of course, Kentucky Derby tomorrow. But did you know today is Michelle Yu's birthday? That's right. My partner on the simulcast team celebrates another birthday. Happy birthday, Michelle, from all of us here at Santa Anita. You do a great job, and we're lucky to have you. We're also lucky to have our seminar guest today. He's a former pro player who loves big days like today. He used to make a lot of money playing races like the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby. He's also done very well in handicapping tournaments. He's a good friend of mine as well. His name, Tim Downs. Tim, happy Friday. Welcome to the seminar.
TQ, great to be here with you.
Happy Kentucky Oaks Day. Let's talk about Kentucky Oaks from another big days in racing like Breeders' Cup, Kentucky Derby, Preakness and Belmont, Big Cap Day. Are those days as a pro player that you're looking forward to because the pools are so big, or would you rather just play like, say, a 12-horse field at Turfway on a Friday afternoon?
Well, definitely you want to play into the big pools, no matter what track or what day you're betting. You know, you want to bet in that. You don't want to be betting into a daily double pool with 5,000 in it.
Sure.
Right? Because your $50 double, it just whacks the pool. So 100% for sure. Unfortunately, we got bad weather in Kentucky, and it's kind of messed things up a little bit, but not too bad. I've been watching earlier on. But definitely, I mean, Breeders' Cup, even like opening weekend at Del Mar is going to get a lot of money.
Sure. Saturday and Sunday, by the way, they open up on a Saturday for the very first time. You can imagine what a scene that's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be messier than normal. No, but it's for sure, you know. But in any field that's competitive and has more horses than 8, because then there's some handicapping involved. You get a lot of these small fields, favorites just dominate. Those are like exhibition
They're
races.
obvious on paper, and they perform that way on the track.
They're just a non-factor.
Let me ask you a question, Tim, because you brought it up: sloppy tracks and yielding turf. Now, do you kind of take your gas off, the pedal off the metal a little bit when the conditions don't come up fast and firm, just because there's another unknown variable?
Well, 100%. I mean, it's important to watch the early races in the card, especially today, like at Churchill, because you want to find out if there's some kind of a bias going on specifically.
And let me stop you right there. You are a big believer in biases. I know that for a fact, but there's a lot of players who think it's a bunch of hooey. I don't think it is, because I've seen it way more often than not, where a style, whether it's early speed or an inside path, can dominate race after race after race, particularly at big odds. That's when you know a bias is in play.
100%. Keep in mind who maintains a dirt track?
Track maintenance.
Humans.
Sure.
And humans make mistakes. So there's always going to be a bias all the time. I mean, the Santa Anita turf course has been very speed biased, I think.
Yes.
Pretty much throughout the whole meet.
Forwardly placed horses, whether they're going short or long, seem to have an advantage.
100%. So whoever says bias doesn't exist, they're just wrong. Sorry.
And what about field sizes? You touched upon that as well. And it makes sense, at least mathematically. You've got a small field. Not only do you have a dominating favorite, but there's not enough other horses for the money to be fused onto. In a 12-horse field, whether it's here at Santa Anita, which doesn't happen very often, or in other locales around the country, then suddenly a horse who might be, say, 8-5 in a 5-horse field might be 3-1 in a 12-horse field. That's where the value comes into play. Even if you don't like the favorite, the value is going to be on all the other horses.
Well, 100%. And I think in general, the betting public and maybe people that bet a little bit more money aren't going to get involved in small fields because there's just not enough money in the pools. And we got 3-5 here in the first race. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't make it fun.
And by the way, Timmy, you mentioned the first race, the first two-year-old race of the meet, both races 1 and 6, debuting the newly minted 2-year-olds, the first 2-year-old of the season here in Southern California. It should be fun. I like maiden races myself as well. As you know, I think one of the last frontiers is in the paddock. You can look at pedigree, you can look at workouts, but if LeBron James and Candace Parker had a basketball player, and of course they're both Hall of Fame players, but the kid walked out on the high school gym and he was 5'2", you'd forget about his pedigree, right? But a lot of horse players fall in love with pedigree, and that's not necessarily the holy grail, in my opinion. A lot of times, looking at them in the paddock, particularly for 2-year-olds, is where you can find some value.
Well, and what you do, tweeting from the paddock, I mean, it's super important because horses have good days and bads, just like 100%. Humans. They can come over one race and be perfect, and the next month they come over and they're complete messes, washed for whatever reason.
Could be anything.
But
you have to pay attention in order to kind of identify when their good days and bad days are.
100%. Yep. And maiden races are great. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I like betting maiden races because those are races where horses will improve from start 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and if you're watching the tapes the right way, you're going to pick some of that stuff up. And because when older horses who've had 50 starts, tapes really aren't super important anymore.
Correct. Tim, you've been playing the horses for a long time. You were a pro player for a number of years as well. Maybe what's one or two mistakes that the general public makes that maybe pro players don't make? And I'll give you some examples. Do they bet too many races? Do they bet the chalk too often? Like, what are some mistakes you think that the weekend warriors make where they could improve their profitability if they learn from their mistakes?
Not betting enough when you have a really solid opinion.
In other words, pressing your opinion.
Yeah, if you come to the track with $100 and you want to bet every race, it's what, $12.50 a race, right? So past races where you don't have a strong
suddenly
opinion,
you can make $24 or $36 wagers.
Double and triple up when you really like a horse. To me, that's one of the main ones. And it just takes a long time to learn this game,
yes.
And being able to watch the tapes and decipher things, track bias. You got to be paying attention all the time. When I used to do it for a living, I would just sit in my office just all day from 9 a.m. till whenever at night with nothing but the TVs and computer and just taking notes and watching everything going on.
It's almost like an air traffic controller. You got a lot going on and you can't not pay attention, because if you miss one detail, it could cost you not only today, but in the long run.
100%. Yeah, probably more in the long run.
We're here for the short run because we want to find out who Tim likes on today's 8-race card. We're going to find out who he likes not only at Santa Anita, but also in the Kentucky Oaks. But before we do any of that, let's find out who the early scratches are here at Santa Anita from our track announcer, Frank Miramati. We'll be right back.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast and the turf course is firm, with the rail on the turf out 30 feet. Here are the early changes. In race 1, we have overweights, number 1+1, 2+2, 5+1, and 6+3. In the second, scratch number 6, Bits Tiger Magic, who is the morning line favorite. And as a result, oddsmaker John White has issued a revised morning line for race number 2. In the third, number 3, Beautiful Janet, 1 pound over. The third race starts the pick 6, which is offered on races 3 through 8. In the fourth, start of the late pick 5, as well as the all-turf pick 3. There are no changes. Race 5 has a program scratch of 3, Cali Cream. In the sixth, number 1, Truly Magical, 1 over, 2, Danzig Till Dawn, 2 pounds over. No changes in the seventh. And in the 8th race, number 5, Dancing with Maxine, will carry 2 pounds over. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park, where post time for the first is in 59 minutes. At 1 p.m., free admission Fridays, $3 beers, $5 margaritas, every Friday here at Santa Anita Park. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. Tom's special guest today is Tim Downs.
Player Tim Downs, and as you can see on the screen, tomorrow, a huge handicapping contest. It's a $3,000 buy-in, $2,000 of live bankroll, plus a $1,000 entry fee, which is returned to all the players. It's on all the races at Churchill Downs, ending in the Kentucky Derby. Expectations are the total prize pool will be in excess of $150,000. If you're planning to play the Kentucky Derby, you should play in this contest, and there's 2 places where you can play it from. You can play it right here on track at Santa Anita, or you can play it from the comfort of your house house, courtesy of expressbet.com. If you're planning to play a large amount of money on tomorrow's races on Kentucky Derby Day, make sure you check out the tournaments at expressbet.com/tournaments. Not only will you be able to keep the money you might win, but you'll also be able to win important prizes like BC seats and NHC seats as well. You're a big tournament player, Tim. You've had a lot of success before. Things that come to mind: I think you won the big tournament at the Orleans. I think you won a tournament at the Wynn Casino in Las Vegas. Talk to the general people, and I think I know your answer already. Why tournaments are so lucrative for everyday players? Because if you're playing the races anyway, you might as well play in a tournament, and the prize structure is so great. You're almost foolish for passing on tournaments.
Well, and plus, like a tournament like the one tomorrow gets you into other tournaments in the future as well. And it's a live money tournament, so you keep whatever you make. And those are great tournaments.
You can play win, play, show, exacta, tries. I mean, you can make a really good score. Let's just say you can't crack the top 4 or 5 where the prize structure is. If you walk out of here with $10,000 from your $2,000 bankroll, it's still a great day.
100%. And you hit the nail on the head perfect. If you are going to bet money on tomorrow's card and bet a lot, why wouldn't you? You know, why wouldn't you do it?
Lose.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they take a little bit of it for the entry fee or what have you, but you know, if you can have a really good day, get into the Breeders' Cup tournament later on in the year, what have you, plus build your stack up and win whatever the prize pool is. It's just all a bonus.
And cash prizes as well. And as you can see on the screen, another wager we're offering today is the Super High Five in race number 1. We'll get to that in a moment. You can see there's a $13,000 carryover already into the pool. No one hit it on the last race on a Sunday afternoon. Before we talk about today's 8-race card, Tim, let's talk about the Kentucky Oaks.
Yeah.
That'll go off a little bit later today around, let's see, 2:51 our time, 9 minutes before 3 o'clock West Coast time. There's one scratch the 1. There's a number of different runners in here, including the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly winner, just FYI, who won that race here at the Great Race Place the first weekend in November. She's one of many contenders. She's sired by Justify. I really don't know who you like in this race, but tell us who you like in the race and why.
I actually like just FYI.
Okay.
I've been watching the works. They have the works from Churchill Downs. They put them on YouTube for like the last week and a half. I mean, to be honest, they all look good on the racetrack, but I kind of watch the way they're traveling. And then, you know, you take this particular horse. So she won the Breeders' Cup here, took some time off, came back and ran last time. Bill Mott's not going to have him completely 100%
Total
correct.
prep, right? Total prep for this.
Total prep for this race. She's 1-for-1 over and off track. And I thought that watching her work when I was watching the works on, she looked fantastic. And you or I were here in the paddock in the Breeders' Cup when she walked by.
I tweeted her.
Yeah, we both said, wow, this horse looks amazing.
And we got 7-1 that day.
And she looks the same now, you know, in those workouts. So I'm going to end up on her. And I've seen some of the early betting, and I think she's floated a little bit to 5 or 6 to 1, I want to say. So she's going to be my main pick. And then, you know, also, you know, one thing to point out is the 15 drew in.
Yes, Our Pretty Woman from the Steve Asmussen buy.
And I'm going to tell you that this horse kind of changes this race up a little bit because
early speed from the far outside.
Not only that, she's pretty good. This is another horse who worked really good, and she comes out of the race against Tarifa, where Our Pretty Woman set all the pace, and Tarifa just kind of sat behind her and got her real late. If somehow this horse gets a clean trip from outside and gets loose, this horse can run.
And it's interesting looking at her running lines, Tim, because I always talk about reading kind of trainer intent and owner intent. And you can see they started her out going 2 turns. So they're already telling you in her debut, this horse wants a distance of ground. Now, she's run very well all 3 times. She's got that improving by her speed figure pattern. There's no way she should be the price she's going to be. And one of the reasons she's going to be the price she is, because a lot of the players already made their decision before realizing that she drew in. Correct. A lot of players get locked into their picks a week or 5 days out. They haven't even really looked at it. We saw that with Rich Strike in the Kentucky Derby. He drew in. Now, granted, he was a long shot, but he was overlaid even more than he should have been because he drew in off the AEs.
For sure. And you know, she's going to mess up some of these other speed horses in here, the 7, the 10. And, you know, you go down to a horse like Where's My Ring? You know, she was a maiden going into the race there at Aqueduct. I really don't know if that race is any good or not. She's a good horse. I can tell you that. I don't think she's this quality yet. And strangely enough, the 4-horse regulatory risk who comes out of that, where she has been working really good on what I've been watching on YouTube. She's a little bit intriguing to me, but she got stopped pretty good by Wear My Ring last time.
Final question for you in the Kentucky Oaks, Tim. What type of wager will you make? Will you make, assuming the odds are what we think they're going to be, will you make win bets on a couple of horses? Will you play exactas? Will you play tries? Will you key them in a pick 4? Just give us a glimpse into kind of maybe how you'd attack the race.
All the above. I mean, I'm going to definitely have some tries in there for sure. I mean, this is one of those races we talked about where the pools are giant. You can bet whatever you want to bet in here.
Not going to impact the odds whatsoever. No late odds changes.
Correct. So I'm going to probably make a substantial. I'm actually going to play a win parlay, just a little theory, Mott to Mott in the Derby. Just FYI to Resilience. I'm just going to bet like maybe $100 win parlay or something like that because Resilience is 20. And he's got a big shot too.
Pressing your opinion, trying to make a score, right? We're not here to trade dollars. You want to hit one out of the park.
100%. And our Pretty Woman's going to get some of my play as well. I mean, I think she's actually a very good horse.
Let's take a look at today's Santa Anita card, kicking things off in race number 1. As I mentioned, race number 1 offers a super high 5 carryover of $13,000. Right now, the pool is close to $17,000 and sure to grow with 52 minutes to post. And as I mentioned in the opening, race 1 is the first 2-year-old race of the year. It's for Calbred maidens, 2-year-olds. Of course, all of them are first-time starters. So as a fun exercise, I wanted to kind of, courtesy of our friends at xbtv.com, look at workouts for most of the runners in the field. The xbtv.com's personnel group does an incredibly phenomenal job getting workouts on these first-time starters, and the library has workouts on a number of them. So I'm happy to share them with you and share your work with them as well. So let's kick it off with number 1, R. Heisman from the Louis Mendez barn. R. Heisman is going to be inside here, and one thing you'll notice when he breaks from the gate is he's extremely quick. You can see the rider down on his belly, and they're trying to get this horse to go as fast as he can for as long as he can. You can see the final workout time is 35 and change. Louis Mendez, over the last 5 years, courtesy of Brad Free at the Racing Forum, with his 2-year-old first-time starters, has 6 wins from 34 starts. That's a 17 win % clip. He also puts Edwin Maldonado in the saddle, so you know that they're going to ask this horse for speed. He drew the rail. Those are all positive signs and indications. Here's one negative. Looking at the breeding, the foal has only had 2 foals up to this point. They've had 25 starts combined between them, and they just have 1 career victory. That 1 career victory was for Maiden 10,000 at Tampa Bay. So there's not a lot of breeding here, but based upon ability and human connections, you got to believe that our Heisman is going to show early speed from the rail based upon all the indicators that I just shared with you. Let's go ahead to the next workout for number 2. Mr. Machipucci, I believe is how it's pronounced. This horse breaks from the outside, and you can see right out of the gate, the horse kind of is holding his head high, throwing it around. Sure, he shows some early speed here, but I didn't think this was as impressive as our Heisman's workout. In company here, you can see the time is actually slower, 36 and change as opposed to the 35 and change that our Heisman got. This is the first foal out of a dam who broke her maiden at Del Mar in 2018 for $50,000. So, it's not a horse that I necessarily love. You can see here the horse is starting to drop out of it already. It might make me a liar because certainly the morning workouts are certainly different than an afternoon race. But at least from the indications I see, I think Mr. Machipucci will be certainly a long shot. Let's take a look at Keep Dancing Nick. This is going to be a team workout from the gate, and Team Dancing Nick is in the red cap, who breaks from the gate very alertly. The other 2 runners do not break as alertly. So I think you got to give a little bit of a benefit to Keep Dancing Nick. Certainly we believe that he's going to show early speed out of the gate. Again, the time indicates that for the 4 furlongs, 50 and change is not the fastest work in the world, but I think he's going to show some early speed. As far as the dam is concerned, this is her first foal. The dam's name was Midnight Hunch. She was 0 for 3 in her racing career, so from a pedigree standpoint, there's not much to go on. I do like Steve Miotti with limited workouts. You can see Keep Dancing Nick, if you're looking at the Racing Form, only has 4 workouts leading up to this career debut. I do like runners that have an abbreviated work tab like that. It gives me an indication that the trainer has confidence in the horse's ability. Again, I think Keep Dancing Nick will show early speed. Whether or not he's quick enough or able enough to beat our Heisman on the rail, who's the 3 to 5 current betting choice, we'll find out. But I think we can agree that Keep Dancing Nick has speed. Let's fast forward to number 4, Bodacious. In my opinion, this was easily the best workout we're about to watch. And here's the reason why. Bodacious is down on the inside with the yellow cap. Watch the exercise rider, not only here, but also as they come down the lane, as they're continuing to work. The other thing I want to point out is the workout mate is actually running in race 6 today. It's number 7, Swift Harmony. Swift Harmony I think is going to be a bit of a long shot in race number 6, but nevertheless, this is a first-time starter who's going to be running in race number 6. But again, look at the exercise rider on Bodacious, pretty much up in the saddle, letting Swift Harmony get the lead here, looks over and says, you know what, I've had enough of you. I'm going to put you away without being asked. And maybe more importantly, down on the inside for a first-time 2-year-old starter is kind of an unbelievable work. Now, you know, the pedigree here for the dam is not that terrific. She's had 2 foals. They're both winless in their career after 17 lifetime starts. But aesthetically, from a visual standpoint, I thought Bodacious' work here was the most impressive of what we're about to watch yet. How about Pavel, who's going to be next in line? This is a very, very interesting work. This horse is going to break from the inside. It's the gray in a 3-team horse work. But not only do I want you to watch how about Pavel, but I want you to watch the worker on the outside. This filly runs in race number 6. She drew the rail. She's Odine's Memory Lane. And look at the body language on the exercise rider for Odine's Memory Lane. Standing up in the saddle, primarily letting the other competition catch up to her. And she, throughout this entire work, the filly on the far outside is, in my opinion, easily the best of this team drill. We're focused on how about Pavel, who's down on the inside. She's the only filly running against the boys in race number 1. I have a feeling that's because her trainer, Doug O'Neill, has 2 runners in race number 6, the other baby race on today's card. But again, I'm drawing your attention to Odine's Memory Lane on the outside. She could not do it more effortlessly. She's covering way more ground than the other inside 2 runners. I have a feeling that's why How About Pavel, who was the 2-to-1 morning line original choice, is now floated up to 4-to-1, basically off that workout. Now, that's a lot of information to digest, but I know, right? Need a cold shower after that.
Oh, big time.
But nevertheless, it's a handicapping information that 100%. Handicappers want to take into account. You've seen all of that. You know all of the information that I just rattled off. Mm-hmm. Having digested all of that, you actually like the rail horse, our Heisman.
I strictly because of the trainer. I mean, Louis Mendez gets the 2-year-olds ready probably better than anybody at this time of the year, you know, other than like Baffert or somebody like that. And they all show speed, and it's just a matter of if they can finish or not. I totally agree with you about everything you said about all the works. Bodacious worked really good. I actually like fillies against colts this time of year. Yeah, and younger.
It's not fillies. That big of a deal at.
No, yeah, 100%.
Fillies are running for their lives from these aggressive
they're trying to get away.
Exactly. And by the way, from a breeding standpoint, by far the most productive dam is the dam of How About Pavel's. The dam's name is How About Zero. She's thrown 2 first-time starters from the 2 foals. One you might recognize, Absolutely Zero, won a maiden special weight race here at Santa Anita. And the other one, her full sister, Loving the Pavels is her name. She won a maiden special weight race at Gulfstream Park. So the dam is 2 for 2 with her first-time starters. But I believe that she's going to have to either beat Bodacious or a Heisman. You think it's our Heisman and How About Pavel in that order as we're looking at the graphic, Tim. Really good information you can find at xbtv.com and also on DRF Formulator if you're trying to analyze and really get involved with these baby 2-year-old races. Let's turn the page, Tim. Take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. 6 furlongs in the turf course of the distance. It's an allowance optional claiming race for Calbred. 3-year-old fillies, non-winners of one other than. The turf rails today are at 0 feet. An important scratch. Morning line favorite number 6, Bits Tiger Magic, has been declared out of the race. The new morning line favorite is now number 2, headed for who's 9-5 on the morning line. You're disappointed by this scratch, Tim, because earlier this morning you submitted your picks. You chose the inside 2 runners, the inside 2 fillies. You were trying to beat the favorite, and now, unfortunately, all that money's going to come more toward the inside.
Well, and it throws a wrench into the race.
From a pace standpoint.
100%, because the 3 outside horses were the definite speed, and I could see them getting into a little bit of a duel. And that's why I like the 1. I mean, she's a 3-time winner, proven that she can rally. And I just thought she was going to get a great trip in here, along with the 2 as well. With Hector, Hector will set the perfect trip like he always does on the turf. And then the 3 is a complete mystery horse, but it's possible that the 4 and 5 could still go out there and get into a little bit of a battle and set it up for the 1 or the 2.
Let's talk about a philosophy, Tim, that you touched upon that I think is important for handicappers to learn, just generally speaking. This is a non-winners of one race other than for Calbreds. And you talked about how Back on Track, your top choice in the race, already has 3 career wins. When you crack open the racing form, and I've been with you, that's generally one of the things you look for. You look for multiple winners running against just maiden special weight or maiden claiming breakers because you believe they have a tactical and a superiority edge.
Well, some horses know how to win and some don't. You'll have lifelong maidens. They just don't know how to pass a horse.
They're herd animals.
They're herd. Horses are by nature, right? They want to stay with the herd. So, I know that this horse knows how to win, and she wants to win. Now,
and she's not going to be the favorite.
Not going to be the favorite. What is she? 6 on the line. And she's been on the turf twice and hasn't run that awesome. I will say that the race 2 back when she was on turf was a tougher race than this race is today. But we'll see. I mean, I would love to see the 6 still in the race, but that's not going to happen anymore. So it is what it is.
Got to play the cards that you're dealt.
Yeah.
Race number 3 begins the $1 pick 6. We're going 1 mile on the main track. For maiden claiming, fillies and mares in for a $20,000 tag. We've got a field of 7. Number 6, Warren Showgirl is the 5-2 Maury Line favorite. Second start in 2024. Give us your thoughts on race 3, Tim.
Well, when I looked at this race, the first thing I'm looking at is the 6. So just because a horse can finish going short doesn't mean they're going to finish going long.
Very
correct?
true.
And so I always
could just be a late running sprinter.
LRS, late running sprinter. Got it right here in my form. Read my mind. Now this is not a great field. I ended up on the 3 here. Simply because these are the kind of horses that win this race, are the straight maiden droppers. It's just the way that it is. She takes the turf. She ran 1 time at Del Mar against a 10 times, maybe 20 times tougher field than she's running against today. So she's not going to have to be much to win in here. And I would definitely take her over the 6. I mean, the 6 can for sure win, but you can see she's gone long on the turf 4 times and has never really finished when going long. I'm going to play against. I actually think you'll see some kind of a odds reversal in this race. I don't think the 6 is going to be the favorite when they go off. Maybe the 1 will be. The 1's dropping as well and gets Juan Hernandez. So I like it 3-1 in here.
Fair enough. Tim, a question for you. In terms of current streaks, either hot streaks or cold streaks for jockeys or trainers, do you take those into account? In other words, if a barn's on fire, will you give them a little bit more credence to win? Or do you just kind of ignore all that peripheral noise and just kind of focus in on the race itself? How do you kind of, handle all that?
I try not to handicap jockeys and trainers. They're not the ones running, right? So
But they do have some importance on the outcome. I don't know to what extent you think that.
Well, to get in the way, maybe.
Just let them run.
Yeah, just let them run.
Right.
Just let them do their thing out there, But yes, again, we're talking about a human factor. People go cold. You get on hot streaks. Same thing with gambling. You're going to run cold. You're going to run hot. Barns get cold. Imagine yourself, you're the trainer. All your employees are probably down. People moping around. Negative vibes. The horses feel it, right?
Sure.
So that's why you get on. Same thing with the riders too. Once they get rolling, you see them rolling because their timing's good. They're putting the horse in the right spot. When they're struggling, they do the opposite of that. They move too early. They go too fast early. They get stuck inside. Yeah, so it's just nature, human nature.
Race number 4 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. It also begins the $3 all turf pick 3. And we kick things off going 1 mile the turf course for straight old $40,000 claimers. We've got a good field of 7, by the way. And the Maury Line favorite dropping out of graded stakes race is on the rail. Number 1, Eastern Ocean from the Peter Erden barn. 5-2 on the Maury Line. 7 different ways you can go here. Tim, which way are you going?
Well, unfortunately, I ended up on the favorite Eastern Ocean. I mean, on paper, he comes out of races that are so far superior. And a really important point is, when you're running graded stakes, you can't have Lasix.
That's exactly right. And look what happens today.
So he goes back to Lasix today. And if you just go back to, when he's had Lasix, I mean, he really lays over the field, to be honest with you. There's definitely enough speed in the race to kind of set up a late run. And Giovanni Franco's ridden him twice before, and he's ridden him really well.
1 victory and a 4th place finish.
Yep. And you just look at the competition that the horse has been running versus what he's running against today.
Easter would be 1-9 in here.
Yeah, and Planetario.
Sure.
I mean,
who's running tomorrow, by the way.
All of them would be.
Right.
So,
so it comes down to price from your standpoint. If you were to get involved in the race, you might single this horse in the pick 5 or the pick 4, but in terms of win bets, it comes down to basically price. You think he's the most likely winner, but what are his odds going to be? 5-2 might be a betting number, 6-5 wouldn't be.
100%. It's all about value. You don't have to wager. Nobody's forcing you to. So yeah, it just depends upon what you think the proper value is.
And you also like number 7, Giovinazzo from the Peter Urton barn as well. You think he might run 1-2? How come?
Well, he should get a perfect trip wide. Okay, we don't really know. The 6 is a straight dirt horse. He's pretty good on dirt, but turf he's unproven. He's got speed, and the 5 has speed. So the 7 should be able to park right off of those 2, or even make the lead if one of them takes back. Kind of an interesting horse to me is the 4. Glack claimed him for 20. The horse has gone straight up the ladder. Here's a horse who's a 9-time winner.
From just 18 lifetime starts.
And Mark Glatt used to train the 1. He didn't scratch, so he's not running from. I don't know if that was an option or not, or what have you, right? But super confident, right? He claimed for 20. He doesn't have to run for 40. So this horse is a player for sure as well.
Read between the lines when you're looking at the daily racing form past performances, that's for sure. Race number 5 begins at 50-cent late pick 4. Here's the other baby race on the card. 4.5 furlongs in the main track is the distance. Main special weight Calbred, 2-year-old fillies. Here's the 2 trained by Doug O'Neill. Number 1, Odie's Memory Lane, who we watched the workout for, who's the 2-to-1 morning line favorite. I watched the workouts for this race as well, Tim. We don't have time to show it, but in my opinion, we saw it earlier when Odie's Memory Lane was working with How About Pavel. In my opinion, Odie's Memory Lane lays over this field from a morning workout standpoint.
Yeah, and Doug O'Neill has 2. He has the 1 and 6. He's another guy that can get 2-year-olds ready to go first time out.
Yes, sir.
The 2 horse has got a lot of speed, but he didn't finish very good.
Correct.
That was one of the notes that I made. I thought the 5 was not much. That was my comment, not much. But who knows? Again, workouts are different than an actual race, right? But again, it's we have 21 first-time starters today, and this is the baby race. And
if you like maiden races, today's your day. 5 of the 8 races are for maidens.
Yeah. Well, the 4.5s are a little tough, though.
Let's turn the page.
Yeah.
Take a look at race number 6. Another maiden special weight race, but at least we got some meat on the bones here. Race 6 also is a split of race number 8, same conditions. 6 furlongs in the turf course for maiden special weight Calbreds. A field of 7. Just 1 4-year-old is the 6 coming off the layoff. Number 7, Really Thirsty, who had a good effort down at Gulfstream Park on the turf, but then a disappointing effort on the main track here, is the 9-5 morning line favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 6, Tim.
I ended up on the 4 and the 5 here. The 4 are actually, so this is a Calbred straight maiden. He ran against Open Company last time. A much better race than he's going to run against these horses today.
Also a productive race. 4 next out winners out of that race back on September at Del Mar.
100%. And his first race down there at Del Mar was really good as well. My main concern would be the 4 and 5 both have a little bit of gas, and if they go and cook each other, I have a feeling that the 4 is going to maybe try to take back and maybe sit a trip. The 5 ran really good last time as well. He was kind of down and got caught inside dueling and ran really, really good. And he just kind of had knocks on the rest of them. The 7, I don't know, that race at Gulfstream, some of those races are not great. And then kind of came over here and laid an egg on the dirt, so you can probably draw a line through that race. So I see it 4-5.
Race 7, we're 1 mile on the main track for Calbred, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. A field of 6. The aforementioned trainer Mark Glatt with number 4, Speed Grazy, is the 2-to-1 morning line favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 7, Tim.
Well, and again, that's who I ended up on. I mean, the running line doesn't do the horse justice. As checked in the stretch, he got completely destroyed. I don't know if he was going to win, but he was going to be right
Lost
there.
all chance.
Completely destroyed. Just wrapped up on.
Draw a line through the effort.
Draw a line through it. The 5 on paper, you would think would get clear, but I don't know what's the 3 going to do coming out of sprints. And he's made the lead going short, so he should show speed. And the 5 has not been good since he got claim 3 back. Didn't make the lead last time, which is actually a bad sign when a speed horse doesn't clear. Sometimes it means they're going in the wrong direction. I don't think the 1 can go long, but I think he's going to plug in there for second. So I played it 4-1 in here.
What about number 2, Big Bet Jeff and Safa from the Carla Gaines barn, a lightly raced 5-year-old going sprinter out. Looks like last time might have been a prep, step slow, breaking out of the gate, now gets Maldonado. Any chance with him?
He comes out of the same race as the 1. He did definitely need the race for sure. The one kind of outfinished him, but the one got a clean trip up the rail, and this horse was wide. So, yeah, possibly. I mean, he did win going long over the track the first time they sent him long when he broke his maiden. It's something like that, 4 with 1, 2, some semblance of that order.
Race number 8, as I mentioned before, is a split of race number 6. 6 furlongs in the turf course for maiden special weights, Calbred, fillies, and mares. We've got a good field of 7. 1 4-year-old in the field who's on the bottom, Isabel Ludlow, but the morning line favorite, number 3, Stop Digging, putting the blinkers on for trainer Simon Callahan, 2-1 on the morning line. We need a winner to close it out, Tim. Who's it going to be?
I normally don't like these kind of horses, but I actually ended up on the 8 here. And I hardly ever will like an 0 for 10 who's run second and third 8 of those 10 times. But this race is just going to set up perfect. I think there's a lot of speed. She goes long to short, should be finishing. They go to Hernandez, which it kind of looks to me like this is probably the money run. And I just I wasn't in love with the race that the 3, 5, and 7 come out of. There were kind of a lot of them stacked up on the wire at the same time. So that's where I'm going to end up.
8 and 6 to wrap up today's 8-race card, including the Kentucky Oaks, which will go off a little bit before 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Tim, thanks so much for your time and insight today.
Anytime.
Really appreciate it. Want to wish you nothing but luck today, but also tomorrow in the tournament, and of course, the entire year. I'll see you down in the paddock at Delmar.
Thank you, Quigley.
Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Keep in mind, tomorrow's card, we've got 11 races on Kentucky Derby Day here at Sandy. The first post will be 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. That means seminar will start at 11:20 a.m. My special guest tomorrow, including impersonations, none other than Sandy track announcer Frank Miramati. Should be a lot of fun. Hope you can join us. Until then, have a great afternoon and good luck, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast and the turf course is firm. The rail on the turf is at 30 feet. Here are the changes. First race overweights 1+1, 2+2, 5+1, and 6+3. In the second scratch 6 Bits Tiger Magic, John White has issued a revised morning line for race 2. Third starts the dollar pick 6. 3 Beautiful Janet, £1 over. Turning to the fourth, started the $3 all-turf pick 3. Today it's offered on races 4, 6, 8. And the 50-cent late pick 5. No changes. Fifth race program scratch of number 3, Cali Cream. Sixth race, number 1, Truly Magical, £1 over. 2, Danzig Till Dawn, £2 over. No changes in the seventh. Eighth race, 1, Lovely Idaho, £1 over. 5, Dancing with Maxine, £2 overweight. Enjoy your day here at Santa Anita Park, where post time for the first is in 27 minutes at 1 p.m.